Wasteland Coder here. Today we're going to take a look at Docker images again. Today we're going to focus on layers. So the easiest way to kind of look at layers, I think, is to just start with what happens when we build an image. So here we just have a simple Docker file, just pulls the latest Alpine base image from Docker Hub, and then we just create a file in it by using the touch command. So we can see it pulling the file here, and it spits out the digest of the image that it is using for that command from. And then when we run touch, it spins up the container like we saw before, and then creates our file and commits the end result to the container with this hash and tags it with the tag that we asked it to add. And so basically each directive, each of these steps here is going to create a new layer of an image. And we can kind of see that just in the output. Here it's creating that layer with that hash there, and then another layer right there. But to see this more clearly, let's take a look at a second build, or image Docker file. And so here, this Docker file looks like the one that we had before. These first two commands are exactly the same, and then we have another extra command at the end. And so when we look at the build, it starts with the same hash of the base image, which is what we would expect. We wouldn't expect a new image to come down from Docker Hub, except that we are using latest here, so sometimes we can get new images. But in this case, it's using the same image here. And we can also see that in this output here, the A22 or A24. And then when we run our touch command, this time, instead of just giving us running in a container, it says it's using cache and just spits out the name of that hash, which we saw before. So this hash matches this hash. So that is an indication that it's running in the same, or it's using the same layer. So the using cache just means, hey, I've seen this command before. It's in my cache, so I'm just going to use it. And then from there, it builds up, it starts a new container to add our second file, and then creates a new image off of that. So these image layers are just getting built one on top of the other. So we started with Alpine, a layer that came from Alpine. We added a new layer on top of it for a file, and then here we added a new layer on top of that for another file. So if we had yet another Docker file with from Alpine latest, and then we did the same command, run touch a file, and then we did a different command, run touch other file. These two images here would share layers up to the A file command. Oh, come on, pen. So they would share the same layers for here, and then just have divergent layers for this last command. Docker does this, one, to help speed up your build, so it can say, hey, I've seen this before, let me just reuse the result when I saw it before, and then also to help save some disk space on your file system. These image layers will just get saved as files, and so if it doesn't have to rebuild new ones each time, that'll save you a lot on disk space. Hopefully that was helpful, thinking about Docker images. I will see you next time.